Mario vs Sonic has been highly requested for quite some time, as you guys view me as the Sonic god. Although just like Sonic, I grew up playing Mario too, and even though I will 100% admit Mario has the better video games, Sonic was the first video game I ever played, and ever since then, he's been my favorite gaming character of all time. Before we start getting into the fight, here's some rules so we don't run into any problems. First, 1-ups and lives that gives you second chances at life, or in this case 99, aren't allowed. Also, the weird win con game mechanics people might think of that results in deaths like falling off the map and dying, time limits running out, or traveling from level to level or one world to another and using that to say they are faster than speed itself, and things of that nature is not allowed. It's disingenuous, and you gotta ask yourself, do you really want to see and get to the bottom of who actually wins? Or are you just being biased? Now let's get this battle started. Mario, when put into battle against random characters 9 times out of 10 is overestimated. If you ever heard of Comp Spider-Man or Comp Goku or Comp any character, it basically means all versions of the character composited into one, no matter where they originated or what game, comic, or whatever the case may be they are from. The reason why I bring this up is because 9 times out of 10, people are using Comp Mario in death battles. And being disingenuous or not even knowing they are doing it. I'm pretty sure we all know this by now, but usually before an argument takes place for Mario vs Sonic, whoever is on Sonic's side specifies whether they are talking about Archie Sonic from the comics or Gaming Sonic, but nobody specifies which Mario, which is honestly a commonly unfair mistake that needs to be addressed and stopped. Throughout your childhood, for years, you probably thought that the Mario featured in Paper Mario was probably the same Mario that was featured in Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey. Both games feature Mario as a main character, but the gameplay, story, and art style are distinct and unique. For example, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros, a crossover between 2 distinctly different Mario worlds. These are 2 Marios from different Mario games that are Mario, but not the same Mario. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you probably didn't know that. I want you guys to understand that the Mario in Mario 64 isn't the same Mario that's featured in Mario Galaxy, Odyssey, or even 3D World. Keep in mind, there's even a game where Mario's spear chucking black in Chinese, Indian, which lets us know that there are different versions, races of Marios. There's a multiverse out there. One of the Marios that's consistently the same Mario is the one featured in Mario Land, World, and Bowser's Fury. You're probably thinking, then it has to be the same for Sonic then, which is somewhat true. Sonic, on the other hand, has Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic. There are only 2 versions of Sonic. But Ty, isn't Sonic Advanced a different Sonic? No. Again, there are only 2 canon versions of Sonic within the games, Classic and Modern. And Advanced Sonic is Classic Sonic, and it features Classic Sonic gameplay. Classic Sonic is also Modern Sonic when he was younger. He's basically the same Sonic, just a different version, from a different time period, when he was younger. Now that that's out the way, I know Paper Mario is considered the strongest, but I think it's debatable between 3D World Mario. He has the Golden Fire Flower, Invincible Leaf, Star Power, Giga Cat, and can store these overpowered power-ups to use for later. Paper Mario and his friends went up against Dimentio, who was destroying dimensions, which based off of that, you could also say Paper Mario's the strongest, since to this day, Dimentio has been the strongest villain any Mario has faced, and even threatened to destroy all worlds. All worlds being vague though, as it could mean all dimensions within the universe of Paper Mario, planets, or all of the Mario series in general. It's never said exactly what worlds he was talking about destroying, but thinking that it could be the whole Mario series is outlandish, because there's no evidence that supports this, especially because while he's destroying the worlds, they only show Paper Mario's worlds being destroyed, not someone like Mario Galaxy's worlds or other Mario worlds, like 64. What Dimentio was doing was manipulating events and messing with the timeline to cause it to collapse. This same thing happens in Sonic Generations. Time Eater, a creation of Eggman, was traveling through space and time throughout the timeline, manipulating and destroying it, trapping people in different time periods. It had to be stopped by 2 versions of one character, Sonic. It only took 2 people to defeat Time Eater, while it took 4 to beat Dimencio. Actually, they were more than 4, and they even also had to use the Chaos Hearts to weaken Dimencio so they could do some damage. Doing damage and beating someone while they're weak doesn't necessarily mean that you're as strong as them. They're weak, their strength is drained, speed drained. Dimencio's power was sucked out of him, pause. Which is exactly why it's debatable on whether Paper Mario is actually the strongest, because he took out Dimencio while his powers were being neutralized. And to make matters even worse, Sonic has a villain stronger than the Time Eater and Dimencio, whose name is Solaris. Solaris is a god who is described to eat dimensions for breakfast and came to eat Sonics. Imagine a being who's eating universes filled with galaxies, planets, black holes, etc., who is immortal and only can be defeated in the past, future, and present at the same time, simultaneously. Imagine fighting a boss who's so fast he exists in the past, future, and present. Sonic with no help defeats Solaris in the present timeline by himself. That alone puts Sonic over Paper Mario. But we're not done yet, as there's more things that we need to cover, and hopefully by now during the video nobody's confused. It's important that we go over the commonly misunderstood things between the fans so that we're all on the same page. Context on certain past events with Mario and Sonic games are important to understand when you're using these fights to come up with an argument about who wins. Now, let's talk about Sonic. Sonic, I'm pretty sure we all can agree, is faster than Mario. And if you don't agree, calm down, I'll explain. For starters, for people who think that Sonic's just the speed of sound, get City Escape out your head. Not only does Sonic run around faster than the speed of sound, it's said by the head of the Sonic team himself, Takashi Iizuka, that Sonic is beyond the light barrier, and also it says on Sonic's official character profile that Sonic runs at the speed of light. Now, in the real world, it's said that anything with a mass can't travel at the speed of light unless it has some sort of infinite energy. And what item in Sonic has infinite energy? Chaos Emeralds. Read any official book made by Sega, and every time they bring up the Chaos Emeralds, they'll always say they have an infinite amount of energy. And it all makes sense that at the lowest he's light speed, because he has a deep connection with the Chaos Emeralds that he's able to summon all at once occasionally. At most, Mario is the speed of sound in his video games, and Sonic being the speed of light would mean Sonic is almost 1,000,000 times faster than Mario, 874,000 times to be exact. This would mean Mario wouldn't be able to see nor perceive any of Sonic's attacks, movements, or anything. A common misconception is that fans think Mario would be able to predict Sonic's movements or keep up, which is far from the truth. This is not like Omni-Man versus the Speedster, or The Flash versus Superman. The sad truth is, Mario won't know what's going on, and before he knows it, the fight will be over. It will literally be like that scene from SpongeBob where he moves so fast, it looks like he never moved.
Wanna see me run to that mountain and back? You wanna see me do it again?
Sonic takes it in speed and stamina. On to their abilities. A lot of people don't know this, but Sonic has an invincibility power-up, which compared to Mario's is very similar, but the only difference is, Mario's lasts longer. Fans of Mario always bring up the star power-up, as if Sonic doesn't have his own version. The only difference is the duration of Mario's is 15 seconds, while Sonic's only lasts for 10. But Sonic and Mario's other invincibility power-ups don't slack. Super Sonic grants the ability of invincibility, flight, teleportation, clones, super strength, super speed, and energy attacks. And Mario having the invincibility leaf, which turns you invincible and allows you to hover in the air and wag your tail. The good thing is the invincibility leaf does last for a longer time than Super Sonic, as Super Sonic does have a time limit, and if we're taking into consideration the max number of rings, which is 999, that would mean the form would last for about 9 minutes and 99 seconds. Super Sonic without a doubt is better than the star power-up in Mario, as the star power-up only lasts for 15 seconds, grants you no levitation or flying, energy attacks, and only grants a small speed and strength boost that Sonic and Base would outrun and outdo. So who actually wins when it comes to abilities? Sonic. There's no way Mario could damage Sonic even in his strongest form / power-up. Fans of Mario always say that Mario wins in abilities because he has the most power-ups. And those same fans fail to wake up and realize, when could you actually ever stack up on a power-up? But Mario has the star power-up that makes him invincible, and the hat with wings that can make him fly. but that's just them coping, because you can't use all the power-ups at once. The fact of the matter is that Mario is so limited to what he can do even in his strongest power-ups. Sonic's super form lasts for a very long time, and even though Mario's strongest form, which is the invincible leaf, lasts for basically ever, it doesn't grant Mario the speed to even keep up with Sonic. Damaging Sonic would be impossible because he can clone himself. But Mario can clone himself too! Yeah, that's one of the abilities that can stack, but the ability is so garbage that the clones only get hit one time, even when using the invincibility leaf. And Mario not being able to fly and only glide is not helping him in a fight against Sonic either. With power-ups like the Golden Flower, how is Mario going to hit someone who could fly miles up in the air and send down 1,000,000 attacks? Lastly, Mario's form is not that invincible as you can die in lava. Which brings us to durability. While in his strongest form or normal form, Sonic doesn't instantly die from lava or anything. Nothing instantly KOs Sonic unless it has something to do with stage hazards. And I'm serious, Sonic can take damage all day unless he has rings. And if he has 999, every time he gets hit, he only loses 40 of them. So without any power-ups or transformations, Sonic's more durable in his base form. We also can't forget about the force formula. In every punch or attack you put out, the force or strength of the punch is measured by how fast the attack's accelerating and how heavy or big it is. To make it more simple to understand, if Sonic is almost 1,000,000 times faster than Mario and has taken down stronger foes than Mario using his strength, he should be more durable than Mario based off that alone. Think of it like this, okay? If I'm moving at top speeds with my weight and I put out a huge amount of force on someone or an object, I have to be able to tank that same amount of force as well because the force reflects back to me. If I couldn't, whatever limb I'm using, for example my leg, it would break or get obliterated. My leg has to be durable enough to handle what I'm putting out. 8 times out of 10, if you're playing a Mario game, Mario dies from coming into contact with lava, with Mario Galaxy and 64 being one of the only exceptions to this. But let's forget the lava argument, it's really just for laughs and giggles. When it comes to Super Sonic versus Invincibility Leaf Mario, it's literally Mario's best bet against Super Sonic. But sadly, you have to die 5 times to achieve this power-up. What also sucks is that Sonic is so fast he could snatch the power-up before Mario could even use it. Now let's say they start out the battle in these forms. Sonic's in his super form, and Mario's using the invincibility leaf, as you can obviously take damage or what it seems like is knockback in these forms. Now some of you I know are probably at the conclusion to where you're saying, cool, Sonic's faster, Sonic's stronger, but they're both invincible. It's a tie then. No. Sonic again has fought a being who can eat and destroy universes filled with galaxies and black holes and is even the speed of light if not faster, which means he can create a black hole. By flying past the light barrier in Super Sonic and creating an explosion, Sonic could create a black hole which could consume Mario. Black holes warp time and space, and with its gravitational pull alone, it can trap light itself. Not to mention, black holes are also 60,000 times hotter than the sun, meaning Mario will instantly die, unable to escape as he's not even able to reach the likes of light speed, and Sonic would win the fight escaping the black hole by teleporting or flying away. And this only makes sense as Sonic in base almost outran a black hole but was too tired with no rings and couldn't boost. And in under a second the battle will be finished with Mario not even knowing what happened or seeing the likes of Hyper Sonic, one of Sonic's strongest forms of all times, which is powered by the Master Emerald, which is stated to be 14 times stronger than the Chaos Emeralds. Mario doesn't stand a chance. The blue blur, Sonic the Hedgehog, wins. No difficulty. Make sure you guys go down to the comment section and say who you think would win though, and like the video, subscribe, and share it to your friends too as well. Thank you for watching, and let me know if I should use Kirby in the next one. Peace.